Okay, let's see. You guys can hear me. Sweet. Welcome to We Do It Live. I'm Jeremy, HeartlandDefenders.com, Heartland Defenders on Facebook, and Heartland Defenders on YouTube. All are in your links except for Facebook right now. I'll get there in a second, guys. Right now, I've got Mike and Jacob with me. Say hello.
What's up,
now
everybody?
hear you guys now.
Oh, now they can hear me.
Yeah,
they're hearing double. There
Well,
we
I've
go.
had my pertinent speech for the night, so, well,
we're out of
you
here.
guys are here.
Your pertinent speech for the night.
Yep. You missed the show.
Oh, everybody missed out already.
Oh, I'm guessing you don't want to miss out.
So I am going to pre this show with the thoughts and statements issued on this show tonight, or the thoughts and statements of the three individuals here and not the group or anybody else. Now that I got that out of the way to make sure everybody's comfortable.
Sit back, relax, and enjoy the conversation.
Oh, well, now, before we jump into it, they're dealing with an explosion out here, so if you guys start dealing with sirens and stuff, there was an explosion about 15, 20 minutes ago, and
Cool.
I'm starting to hear sirens in the distance, so, yeah, I don't know what it was.
It's the local meth lab. It's okay.
Well,
Yes.
you know, I've been added to our town, what is it, neighborhood watch group on Facebook, and in the last, 12 hours, I've seen 3 people talk about shootings in the area, and, yeah.
So is this an armed light patrol, or?
They better be, I swear. I'm not patrolling nothing in this. I don't go outside my house without a gun in this town.
Nice.
So if I mute myself, there's a reason for it. Is because there's sirens going by. Doesn't mean I don't have anything to say in this conversation, because I have plenty to say in this conversation. And what's great is I don't know.
I honestly think, with the 3 of us in this conversation right now, you're going to be pleasantly surprised with the agreeance that we'll all have in this conversation right now.
I don't know.
I don't know about that.
My conversations that I've had through, and what we're going to talk about is the heartbeat bill. I've been forewarned that
You may sleep on the couch.
It's no. Jane, I don't know if Jane knew about that I was going to do the heartbeat bill tonight.
She does now.
She does now. Which she's going to be happy about. I mean, as you guys have noticed, she's very vocal about it by her posts on Facebook. She's very strong about it as her posts on Facebook. But what really brought me to decide to do this was that one of our members, Mike, I'll just call him Mike. Maybe I'll throw him under the bus later and just post the link of the chat so he can deal with more than 100 comments.
He'll throw himself under the bus, probably. So.
If he's even here, I don't know. But so he had here. Let's do this here. He had.
Oh, you gonna quote verbatim?
Yeah. Well, because I want to make sure it's right. I don't want to miss.
Well, let's preface this. Let's preface this with, it is not a direct quote from Mike. It's a meme picture that has gone around Facebook. It just happens that Mike shared said meme picture, and very good quality conversation came out of it.
Yes. And I understand the point by it, and we'll get to that point. But so exact words are, and I hate that we're calling out liberals, because it isn't just liberals, but calm down, liberals. No one wants to take your abortions. We just want common sense abortion control. To keep the children safe. Oh,
All right, everybody.
Yeah. Oh, and the amount of the amount of comments that happened, and Jane, I'm gonna throw you under the bus, and I know you don't care. She jumped all over this. She jumped, and I knew what Mike was doing, and she keeps telling me, no, you didn't. I knew Mike was trying to compare. Look, a right's a right. Whether it's a right to your body or a right to a firearm or whatever right it is, none of them should be infringed. It sounds silly when you put other things in front of it and you say you add the same type wording, but we'll get into it because I think we're going to have different ideas between the three of us when it comes to how we all feel.
I agree. I think it's going to be a lot different.
Well, when we brought this up, I obviously went with the wrong direction. I thought our conversation was going to be solely on the context, the context of the meme that incited the conversation.
Sorry,
not the physical heartbeat bill.
Well, I mean, I'm not really going to get into the
heartbeat. So which are we discussing?
Well, so I'm not going to get into the actualities of the heartbeat bill. We know what the heartbeat bill is. We know it basically bans having an abortion after a heartbeat is established or found. A lot of people argue that that's a little short because of the fact that a lot of people don't know they're pregnant and that's like 4 or 5 weeks in when you can establish finding a heartbeat. So
I'm not even gonna pretend I know how long it is before you hear a heartbeat.
I'm not positive either. No.
When I went through a possibly having a kid at one point, they were looking for a heartbeat at 4 weeks of being pregnant. They pushed it to 6 to 8 weeks, but 4 weeks is about the earliest you can find a heartbeat. So a lot of people don't even know they're pregnant in 4 weeks. A lot of people don't. And I'm saying a lot. There are people that don't, and there are people that do. They can tell almost immediately because their bodies are already starting to change.
Well, yeah, they get suspicions, but I don't even know if they're always sure.
Ladies, if I say anything out of hand or out of line, please feel free to smack me and correct me.
I'll bring the camera and we'll record it.
Yeah. Jeremy, technically, according to some, we aren't even supposed to be talking about it.
Well, and because we all three of us aren't women. There's some that are probably going to tell us.
Again, gentlemen, we're not actually talking about the heartbeat bill. We're talking about the context of a meme and the verbiage used in said meme that associates the idea of abortion and the idea of the heartbeat bill and all of the stuff going on there with the same verbiage that they use for gun control.
Correct, but I do want to get into the heartbeat bill a bit too.
So it kind of gives us a little leeway into being able to discuss this.
Well, yeah.
Well, I think quite frankly, as a human, I think we can. I think that's that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Sorry. About, if, because I'm a woman, that I'm the only one that can talk about it. That's like saying, well, we're gun owners, so if you don't own a gun, shut up.
Right.
That has been said, though.
It has, but not by us.
It has been said, but not by us.
Correct.
But it has been said.
That's the kind of person you're saying. That's the same kind of person saying that. I mean, that's just silly. We're all here. We're all part of the same place. So everybody should have an opinion. I'm sorry, And guess what? Because of the big flag behind you and the big flag behind me, we're allowed to talk about it. Because guess what? It's part of being an American.
Correct.
I'm pretty sure the second covers the first, which allows us to talk.
Correct. And Jacob Hunter, I'm going to get into that a little bit. Because I'm not going to just hit, because I'm going to make this as uncomfortable as possible for everybody. We're going to hit the context of this.
Yeah, on YouTube there.
Yeah, well, on Facebook. I don't know. I haven't hit YouTube yet. I'm still getting there. But Jacob Hunter.
There's some comments on YouTube.
Facebook.
We're already hitting some comments.
Woo! All right. But
that hotline isn't on.
Well, go ahead, Jeremy. But yeah, I mean,
So Hunter, I'm sorry, I said Hunter, Jacob Hunter.
Yeah, I definitely like to get back to Daryl's comments though at some point.
Oh, we will. I'll hit them here in a second. I'm not over there yet. I understand your if that's my child in that body, I should have some say. I understand that, but with I'm the wrong person that I have this thought. I'm trying to, this is going to be hard. 45 minutes of policing what I would need to say. God damn it. Why did I do this to myself?
I'm just saying, don't make me laugh this hard. My back does hurt.
So, what?
But you know what though? But see, I think that's part of the problem, Jeremy, with what you're trying to do right now. Because we feel uncomfortable, but I think that's the problem. I think if people would just talk about it rather than, argue and do this, well, I'm a woman. And I mean, I think if people would talk, then maybe Jacob's statement's right in a way that maybe in the end we're all a little closer. Some of us.
Correct.
I mean, not every. There's always going to be the far right and the far left.
Are you saying that we should not adhere to the political correctness of the world and actually have discussions over things that are taboo?
Well,
like politics.
Start now.
I'm okay with it. I'm I'm tiptoeing at first because there's a few women in here, and I'm trying to be as politically. I'm not politically correct. I'm trying to be as fair as
gentle?
I can be.
Just do it gentle, Jeremy.
Well, no, I'm going to rip the Band-Aid off because I see Daryl Fryman and what he's saying about he's not pro-abortion, but he's also not pro-life. No one has the right to tell anyone what they can do or cannot do with their body. I agree. I'm on that. I'm just going to rip the Band-Aid off on what I think about the heartbeat bill and abortion altogether. I think, and I know this is going to be harsh, and some of you pro-lifers out there are really not going to like me for this. Until something cannot sustain life on its own breath, it's under, for me, I view it as being, and I'm going to call baby a parasite here, a parasite, and it is under the direction of whatever the host decides to do. And on top of, I'm going to go by the rule of law here, because we all talk about the rule of law and how our country should be ruled by our laws, and that's it. Well, by law, minors don't have any rights until they're 18 or emancipated.
That's a joke.
Right? But as of right now, state of Ohio, and Jacob, I know you've probably maybe heard this or talked about this with somebody else, because I've had to do it when my 18-year-old now got really unruly when he was younger. If he gets in trouble, the police go to school, they can take him out of school and interrogate him without ever notifying me or the mother. Because kids don't have rights at all. They do not have right to an attorney. They do not have any rights whatsoever. So in that case, the child, if it was inside a woman, could express that it wanted to live in some way, shape, or form. It wouldn't have any rights in that aspect anyways. If we change that to say, yes, a child does have medical rights to its own body, then we're taking away the rights of the parent to be able to make decisions for children medically and everything else-wise. Kids can then finally go, well, I have rights to what I do in my body. I don't want to go to school.
All right. Hold on.
But I agree. I think...
Hold on. My turn. I'm not pro-life. I'm not pro-abortion. I'm pro do whatever the hell you need to do. The second part of this is it's not the government's place in any way, shape, or form, just like it's not your employer's place to tell you that you can or can't do this or do that outside of their purview. It's not their job to police your life, your body.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that this discussion is even happening is what ticks me off about it, because it's not the state, federal, or government's. It's not the government's job to do this.
Yeah, but wait a minute though. So I'm going to play devil's advocate, kid, because I'm kind of both ways with what you have right now. But at some point, that parasite does become a person inside the mom. So then, does that person then not have life?
But
if we're basing all of this off being inside, then until it's outside, it's nothing. Secondary, if we go any further with that, then we have to do
pictures, then, my friend, because they're pretty. You can. So you're saying, so even if it could, live outside the body. It's still not a body.
My 9-year-old daughter was a premature baby. She came out 4 pounds 4 ounces and sat in the NICU for a week.
Right.
She wanted to be out.
Okay.
They can exist outside of the body.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So when does their so
right.
You're saying that the rights don't start until they what? Put feet in the U.S.?
Well, so here's the point I'm going to make from that. At this point in time, we're not talking at all about the right to have an abortion or the right not to have an abortion.
Well, yeah, you could.
Hold on.
No. You steered it right that direction. You did.
I am. Right now, we're not actually talking about the right to or the right not to.
Yeah, we are. But
what we're talking about is a baseline. What we're talking about is a baseline morality. Where does this country sit in regards to a fetus, a baby, newborn, a toddler not speaking, and a toddler speaking, into young child, into adolescent, into teenage,
until about 2 or 3, we should be able to shoot them.
Well, no.
So let's take it back to the 300.
Don't have
if
any
they're broken, throw them over the rocks.
Well,
I mean, they don't have any rights. I mean, they're not a person, obviously.
Well,
I mean,
once they are able to sustain themselves correctly, like out of the body, no, they're not a parasite anymore. They're living. They're outside. They're not reliant on another person. What's that?
Against Jacob's argument, because Jacob's saying that's not true.
Oh, see, I wouldn't. Once they're born and they can breathe, and they're out.
But they can come out. They can come out early, but they can come out early and still breathe.
Correct, and still need to be on machines and stuff. Correct.
No. I've known preemies. I've known people with preemies who have not needed machines.
But 4 weeks. I mean, a child, they say, can't survive.
4 pounds.
Yeah. So what? So where is the limit? That's where I'm getting.
Correct. At. Well, but I mean, okay. But 4 weeks in.
When is it a baby? I mean, when people
when it comes out.
No. When people have a baby early, at 24 weeks, does that make it a baby? So now someone who has an abortion at 26 weeks. That's an abortion, but if they had it at 23, it's not? Because you can have a baby at 24 and it lives?
That's where I know. What was the law? I don't know the law previous. I know it was something around so many weeks that before you could, or before you couldn't get it anymore, right. Which was almost up to, having the child, from what I remember correctly.
I think it's back. No, because I thought it was. I think the previous law was up to the 2nd trimester. I don't think you could be in the 3rd.
Oh, okay. Well, then
I don't think you could be in the 3rd.
But as of right now, this law basically makes it impossible to have an abortion.
Yeah. Oh, and agree. And listen. And I don't. And let me preface this. the rape. I'm sorry. And I'm gonna piss people. The rape argument is dumb. Okay, the percentage of people who are raped and have abortions compared to the ratio of people who use it as birth control isn't even comparable.
Well, yeah.
They're here and here. They're not even comparable.
I hit that button for way too long.
Yeah, my biggest issue, if you don't want to have a child, you don't. There's 99% chances of you being able to prevent. There's a 100% chance if you don't have sex.
Well, correct.
But even if you do,
I'm gonna piss more people off.
99% chance of preventing it.
I'm going to piss more people off. Vasectomies are reversible.
Well, they are, and
but you don't have to have surgery to prevent.
But here's the thing, though: vasectomy is great. They're 100%. They work great until 10 years down the line. I've known 2 people this has happened to, where they've self-reversed themselves, and have gotten their wives pregnant from it. And it's it's not, you know, the repairman's baby. It's not whatever they did paternity tests.
Condoms are not 100%. Condoms are not 100% effective.
99%.
Correct, but condoms are great.
Diaphragms are not 100% effective.
99%.
Plan B is not 100%. The Plan B pill is not 100% effective. Birth control is not 100% effective.
You're still arguing the wrong fact. The majority of people who have abortions, and it's factual and documented, don't even try not to get pregnant. They don't even try.
Right.
They use abortion as birth control.
Wow, the amount.
That's statistically factual. That's not my opinion. That's statistical.
Okay, see, I haven't pulled statistics, so I can't see. I just, you know what?
And that's the major, I guess, and look, I understand. There are, and don't get me wrong, I'm not a huge fan of the heartbeat bill. I think there are changes that need to be made to it. But I do think at some point in time, some point in a pregnancy, you've made that decision.
Correct.
If you use, because let's do this, the rape argument. Okay, if you were raped, you're not going to take your baby to the third trimester, are you? If you're going to have an abortion,
you're most likely in the first, if not second, going to most likely
and what are the chances you're not going to know you're pregnant by the second trimester?
Well,
correct.
Let me think about. Let me ask this question.
I was saying,
probably piss people
I'm not
off.
sure we got that long.
The question is with the rape argument, how many of the quote-unquote abortions due to rape do you think went in within the allotted amount of time after the rape occurred and had a rape kit test done or any of the tests that go along with it?
Well, a lot of rapes a majority of rapes go unreported.
Yeah,
right.
Because if they're embarrassed or they feel, yeah.
Yeah, but still, even if, I guess, so here's my biggest thing. My biggest thing is by the second trimester, you've made up your mind. You don't need any more time. You do not need a third trimester abortion. Is dumb.
Well, and I'm not even thinking that. I'm on the heartbeat bill where it's like right now it's almost impossible to even have, because by the time you find out, there's a heartbeat for a lot of the time.
And I think that there does need to be rape exception. And now, yes, will people that get pregnant all of a sudden cry rape and fill out a police report so they can still have an abortion? Of course they will. Just like people who cheat welfare and have a job that they get paid cash. There's always going to be corruption no matter what system, what bill, whatever you do, there's going to be corruption.
Right.
Got it.
But and the system, there's always going to be some way around the system. Now, since we're in that some way around the system, I look at the heartbeat bill as something that now puts a lot of people in danger in the fact of there's going to be a lot of back alley abortion clinics that are going to pop up. Because it just happens in every state that ends up banning abortion.
They're legal, and there's already clinics.
Yeah, well,
they're legal.
Yeah, well, until they perform it. Now, it also, like what's happening in Georgia, their bill will make it so if you leave the state and go to a different state and have it done, and you come back, you can still be charged.
Right. Well, and going back to what Jacob, so now you're talking about a moral issue. I get that. But at some point, you have to admit that is a person and they have rights. And when they come out of the mom, that doesn't, because that's not the same period. I mean, you can't say X amount of days, cool, it's a baby. There has to be at some point that now you're not making a decision for one person, you're making a decision for two people. And if you abort a living, what's the difference between aborting, a living human and killing someone. What's the difference?
But correct. I mean, you are technically killing someone at some point.
Well, that's the question that's being asked. Where is that point?
That's hard to say.
And that's where
you can't legislate morality.
Yeah, that's where we all start stuttering because that's the toughest question.
And that's where I end up, that's where I end up going by law, where if you go by the laws, the host or the mother, and I'm going to say it both ways because of the way I look at it. I'm going to see some people probably give me some crap. Has the right to make that decision. I mean, that's their body. I mean, we give more, right now we're telling women we give corpses more rights than we do women to their bodies. Because right now, if I don't decide to donate my organs to save, what is it, like 7 people you can save or whatever if you donate your organs, it's something like that, they cannot take them. Even if I'm dead and I'm long gone, they cannot take my organs because I did not say it was okay. So I have a right, even after I'm dead, to tell them, this is my body, I want it incinerated, I don't care.
But you said something key there. You're dead.
I'm dead. But I've made the decision.
The 2 lives we're talking about now are both alive.
Jeremy, we can have this discussion next week. But
no. This has to go with the whole point of their body and their rights to their body.
No. It's
fine point to it. Go fill out.
But you aren't killing. You are not killing by you being dead and not donating. You are not killing someone else.
Well, I'm going to make this statement. I'm going to make this statement. Go fill out a living will. One of the first things that's on a living will is of sound mind and body.
Correct.
You get that point. Yeah. So if you're dead, if you haven't, during a moment of sound mind and body, made the determination that you were going to give up your organs,
they can't take them.
They can't take them.
Correct. But what I'm saying, though,
is you have no say.
But
it's not because you're alive and can't speak. It's because you're dead.
No, that's not what I'm talking about.
But that's not what I'm talking about either. I'm talking as in, if I make the decision before I die and I'm of sound mind that I don't want anybody to take my organs, think of it this way. The amount of people that are on those lists, if we just said a dead body's a dead body, screw it, everybody's organs are going to help people. We could save thousands of people a year, but we don't, because those people still have a right to their body. And that's where... but we're telling women that they don't have a right.
Talking about your body, when the argument I guess I'm making is at some point you become the host to a second body.
But you're a host.
That's something that's alive.
Correct.
We're talking about taking something that is alive and
to your point. To your point, Mike, and the argument's been made on Facebook posts all over that jerking off is killing thousands of human beings.
That's a bullshit argument.
Because it's not been put together.
That's how people go with it.
No, there's no point.
Well, if you take your sperm and put it in anything all by itself, what's it going to create? Nothing. So that's a bullshit argument. But so here's the other argument I've heard, and this one, I know it's not a human, but say I get a tapeworm and I decide I want to get rid of the tapeworm. It's a living thing in my body. Do I now get in trouble for animal abuse because I killed the animal or the living thing in my body?
If PETA had a say in it.
What?
I would say
if PETA had a say in it.
Huh?
If PETA had a say in it, you would.
No. When that tapeworm comes out of your body, at any point in its life, did it ever have rights, or will it ever have rights?
Well, it's a tapeworm. No, it's the argument of you're a host to a living thing.
But it's never.
I have the right to get rid of the living.
That's apples and oranges, Jeremy. Come on.
But I have a right to get a living thing out of my body.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So that's where I'm going, though, is I have the right to get rid of any living thing out of my body, no matter what my decision was. If I decided to eat that really crappy burrito in freaking Mexico, or accidentally had sex with and got somebody pregnant, you know what I mean? It's that whole.
I mean, now if you told me you had a puppy living inside you and then you killed it, I think maybe we have an argument. But I don't think we can say with the tapeworm.
Puppies don't have rights.
I don't think a puppy. I don't think a puppy counts like that.
No, it's still animal abuse.
Well, then there would be animal abuse.
Correct.
PETA can have all the heyday they want with that shit, hey, but a human freaking being it becomes a whole other conversation.
If we see PETA with save the tapeworm, signs, we'll have that argument.
Well, but I'm going to get back to a right's a right. And if we're going to talk about one right not being infringed upon, since this whole meme does kind of connect the gun rights and the trying to show that if we're going to stand up for gun rights and blah, 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 don't worry if you're going to try to take our guns, trying to say the same thing. It's the same as any right. Any right should not be infringed. Your body, whatever.
But and I guess that's where I'm coming with my argument. Because that's, there are people, and maybe they're even far right. When does that human inside a person have rights? Because at some point in that pregnancy, that is a human.
Well, so then that's correct.
I mean, you can't.
Is it at 4 weeks, though?
I mean, it just is.
Is it at 4 weeks, though? No. It's definitely not a human at 4 weeks.
No.
I mean, it's from what they've shown, it's like this big.
I don't care how advanced science is. If you pull a baby out at 4 weeks, it's not going to live.
Correct.
There's no chance whatsoever.
So, again, I mean,
and I guess that's always been my and don't get me wrong, I don't know the answer.
No, neither do I.
I don't know the answer, but there is at some point. I believe that baby has a right, and it has rights even, I think, before it's born. At some point, at some point, you are killing a human. I mean, that's you can both argue that as much as you want, but you can't. You can't.
You're trying to legislate morality.
No.
Then just legislate it by law, and right now, by law, it is what it is.
But what I'm saying...
No, but that's not morality. That's science. Science tells you at some point that is a human.
Okay, so right now you have a base of people who have passed a law that says when that heart is beating, it has right.
Well, then I told you I haven't agreed with that.
Okay, I'm agreeing. You have another group of people that are screaming. It could be born full term. Mother says I don't want it, and they'll let it die in the next room.
Oh, look at Jane starting.
She's stirring up the pot.
Wow.
That's fine. You've got people saying, like Jane, my body, my right. Well, in that regards, is that whenever it doesn't matter if it's in there, it's your right.
Well, hold on. Okay. Well, and somebody else made the point. What about the other half of the of the baby? What about his rights?
I was going to bring that up at some point, but
I mean, because you're what you are saying then is because hey, you're not the host. Fuck you. Right? Because the father. Oh, unless of course you change your mind and then decide to have the baby. Now most of you want the father to all of a sudden have rights, right?
Well, the father doesn't technically have rights though until the child's born. I think that's the way that works as of right now.
Well, why?
I mean, because if we started with that fact, then why, if the woman's pregnant, why isn't the father paying child support if he's not involved? Let's just say he's not involved.
Right.
Why isn't he paying child support for the 9 months she's pregnant?
Maybe he should.
That's where I've heard that argument too.
And some, you know what? Some do.
While they're pregnant?
Well, if you're, I mean, I paid for plenty when my wife was pregnant, and actually she wasn't my wife at the time.
Well, right, but you were still involved. I'm talking about say the woman goes out, makes a mistake, drinks, gets pregnant. It wasn't rape. She decides to keep it, and for those 9 months, and they're not a couple. They're not like living together. They're not sharing finances. How at that point? I mean, I've heard that argument where then the father wants to have rights all the way through the pregnancy as well. Why are they not paying for that part of it?
But I have heard of court cases where they have sued the father to pay for the abortion.
I have heard of that, which is, I think, ridiculous. I mean, because if you're not, especially if the father's not helping, like if the father does not agree.
Yeah, because it's not his body, right?
Right.
Well,
or is it?
Palmer just posted on YouTube, the only right I had when my first claim she was pregnant was to give her money for, give her money for the abortion, which didn't effing happen.
Oh, wow.
So there's a member of our group saying that when it was claimed that he was the father, he had to give her money for an abortion, and it didn't happen.
Right. Well,
I mean, we go back to Mike's statement of you're always going to have, and I'm sorry for the language, but you're always going to have shady shit when it's a very vague system of attempting to legislate morality. At what point does every human being believe that that's a human being?
Well, wait. Hold on. Wait, but then you're saying that if I kill my neighbor, I shouldn't be charged.
How am I saying that?
Because that's a moral decision on my part.
I don't disagree with you.
So I should not
but that's a cut and dry legislation. Thou shalt not murder. Murder is a capital offense.
Well, wait a minute, though. But
that's cut and dry. That's what I'm. It's cut and dry. It's cut and dry. You can murder a human being.
No, well, apparently you can.
As long as the human being is not outside, standing foot, and able to tell you no.
Okay, so babies that can't walk, it's okay then?
Again, we say morality.
No, you just said it's straight cut legislative.
Hey, you can't, no. I'm saying you cannot legislate morality. And
well, then I should be able to shoot my neighbor.
Everybody's got a different damn opinion.
Then
where is it a human being? Where is it a human being? When does it become human?
I don't have any moral problem with doing that, so I should be able to do it. And not be charged. I mean, under your argument, that's...
Under my argument, you're 100% right, and I probably got a laundry list of people that I would love to do it to. But as of right now, that's against the law. Because as we know, kids, welcome to the fun show, they make laws to make people criminals, not to stop bad things from happening.
I don't think I'd agree with that because there's a lot of gangbangers who kill a lot of people who are actually bad people killing good people.
Okay. I don't disagree with that.
So if that wasn't against
at the same time,
there's a lot of bad people out there. Oh, I know the argument.
I think you just stepped on your own toes on that one.
No.
Because if they were good people, they wouldn't be breaking said law.
Yeah, they would. You just said it's a straight cut law. So they are legislating. We are legislating morality.
We're still getting into the very gray area of the code.
No. You said it was clear cut.
Well, the law's clear cut. That law's simple to make. Okay then. Murder's a capital offense.
Well, you're right, and so is the heartbeat bill. It's pretty clear cut. I've read it.
Okay.
So now it's law.
Then if it's clear cut, then why do you have issue with it?
Your argument is it's law, so it's law. So why are we bitching about it?
But that's what I'm asking. If it's so clear cut, why do you have an issue with the heartbeat bill?
I don't have an issue. I have an issue with the way it's written because of personal reasons. It's not morality reasons.
Okay, I'm gonna try something out here real quick. I'm gonna slow this down a little bit.
All right.
Our telephone number is 234-978-2901. Any of you ladies want to chime in? Call me now.
Okay. Is it
Fair warning, ladies and gentlemen. Fair warning, ladies and gentlemen. Jeremy will have to relay your comments.
I don't think that'll happen this way. I've got a way of setting it up. This may not happen that way.
Let's try this.
Nobody's called yet. Anywho.
Well, actually, we got a decent audience, so.
Yeah, we do.
Well, Jeremy,
probably nobody wants to
put that number on a ticker tape. If you can put that number there real quick on a ticker tape, that'd be great.
Yeah.
That way anybody can see it and they can call.
234-978-2901. Again.
These assets shoot up schools. Yeah, true.
Right.
Yeah, I mean and I get it. And see, that's the thing. I mean, and that's the whole issue. It's I get a woman's point of view in and there are there are actual medical situations where the woman could die. So I agree that these laws aren't perfect. I don't agree with the argument that they need to have it no law because what about rape? And I don't know. And yeah, is part of it probably morality? Sure. But you have to have some rules in society, period. We have the founding fathers even said, I mean, we've read the Constitution, right? What is the largest part of the Constitution? Legislative. For laws, because they knew that without laws we'd be a bunch of yahoos.
Correct.
So that anybody who goes and says the Constitution again, and I've said this 100 times, that the founding fathers thought we should be able to do whatever we want. No, they didn't. You better reread the Constitution.
Right.
That's not what our founding fathers were. Not anarchists. They may have been considered anarchists at the time, but they were not.
Yeah.
They believed in laws. They believed in legislation. They believed, and probably to some degree, they thought a lot of the laws were, moral decisions. But, shouldn't you have some morals as a human? And I'm not talking religiously. I'm just talking just as a human.
Right.
I'm stepping off. Go ahead.
No, you good? Okay. Well, and I mean, but again, I'm also, and I've said it already a couple of times. I think that our rights, all of them, should not be walked upon or dealt with. And again, we have to. I guess the big thing is, as a society, we need to sit down and figure out where's the line. Where's the line that the living thing inside of a mother is a child that has rights. So then, at least at that point, again, and this will end up echoing through a lot of other laws. Is where at some point, if somebody kills a pregnant woman, do they get charged for two charges of murder or one?
And that's always been
historically they have been.
Yeah, they have been. There are several states that will charge you with double murder.
Yep, double homicide, double manslaughter.
So how does how do you do? I mean, how does that even happen?
Right.
I mean, we're
what about the guy? What about the guy from Cleveland?
Our cake and having it too, and you can't.
What about the dude from Cleveland that had the girls? It was like 2014, whatever it was.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Ariel Castro,
didn't he get charged with the murder of all the babies that he had with those girls, and he'd like punched them in the gut with dumbbells and kicked them and shit, and made them have forced abortions? Didn't he get charged with those too?
Right.
Yeah. So
well, I'm assuming, and see, now there's where I'm at. That's a question I'm curious to see what someone who is, completely 100% against this bill, what's their opinion on that?
Right.
Well, I know one.
Is that because it's somebody else? Is it argument? Well, somebody else is making that decision. What if? Because here, let's take it one step further. What if that woman is on her way to the abortion clinic? Some dude comes up, stabs her in the stomach, and kills the baby. Because she was planning on having an abortion, does that mean there's no murder?
Current law right now, he'd be charged with murder.
He'd be charged with murder.
Well, why? It's not a baby.
Right.
And she was on her way to get rid of it.
Well, he's not a licensed professional.
So this is where I think in our again,
did you say it has to be?
We need to figure out the line. This line right now is too gray, too blurry to even know where it's appropriate and where it's not. Where do we draw that line as a society?
Right. And I don't completely disagree with a lot of the women. You know what? Yeah, this probably to some degree should be an issue where, there is a whole lot of women in Congress and Senate. Why are they not all getting together? Because I'm sure they're on both sides of this. Why are they not all getting together in DC and sitting down and going, hey, as human beings, let's have this discussion. Where's the line?
Because I'm pretty sure it's because they're really busy right now trying to figure out how to impeach Trump over the whole cutting off of the tag.
Because we would rather focus.
The fact is, though, they haven't been doing it since the 60s and Roe versus Wade, or was it that 70s?
Right. No. Yeah.
They've had a lot of time to get together.
They've had a lot of time to figure that out too. I mean,
and I guess that's the problem. If you look across the country at all the different bills, they're not the same bill.
No.
So obviously the situation needs to be discussed, and I honestly believe there has to be give and take on both sides, because I think both sides are right and both sides are wrong.
Right.
And I firmly believe that.
Now,
so what you're saying is we need to have a sit-down conversation face to face and actually figure out what morality is and where the line is that a baby or a fetus is a human being.
Yeah, I think this is one of those, there's not a lot of those issues out there, I don't like the argument of gun control with abortion, because they're not. I don't believe they're apples and apples. I think they're apples and oranges.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the argument's legitimately there. I think it's the context and the verbiage used.
Yeah, I know. And it was just it was a meme. I get it. It's still just the verbiage used. It's not saying guns and baby are the same thing. It's saying, if we tweak the words, which we already know politicians love their dictionaries, if we tweak the words just a little bit, it's the same. It's the same exact verbiage used for the gun rights group. We just need comprehensive and common sense gun control for the children.
Right.
We just want comprehensive and common sense abortion laws for the children.
Now
that's all it's said.
Now going by that meme though, is this a common sense abortion law?
Common sense is the most overused. Common sense is the most overused context of words to try to make it sound like it's.
I don't know if I don't think any law. I don't know if there's any law that we could consider common sense.
Well, I mean, and you look at it though.
Cornflakes on a Sunday.
Why are all our congressmen and women and state leaders and stuff working on other dumb crap when we have something like this going on? And it's a heated discussion. I mean, I've seen people at work getting arguments over it. I've seen people at a gas station arguing at each other about it. I mean, it's a very hot button topic. It's something that needs to be defined and taken care of. But
well, yeah, it's a real issue, and I think here's the biggest problem. Okay, so it's a real issue, and politicians, for the most part, don't really want, because they've got constituents on both sides of this argument. They really don't want to piss off either side because they need the votes to get elected, because that's become the biggest problem.
Right.
Is that they don't, you know what, the vast majority of people that were involved with this bill probably don't give a shit either way, pardon my language, but they probably don't care. I mean, they probably don't give a crap, you know, about babies' rights. They probably don't give a crap about moms' rights. They probably don't give a crap about either side.
Right.
But you want to satisfy whatever portion of the public is more than likely to get them elected next time, which has become our biggest problem. Again, it goes back to, you know, we've let them become our leaders rather than our representatives. Because according to this issue, if you watch Facebook enough, they're obviously not representing either side in this argument.
Well, of course, because they don't, like you said, they don't want to piss anybody off because of the voters. Well, it's like it pisses me off. We're sitting here. This is a big hot topic. You know, here in Ohio, some of you from outside of Ohio may not be dealing with this, but here in Ohio, the amount of drug overdoses here in Ohio are out of control because of the fentanyl here in Ohio. Yet our leaders, or I don't know, I got to stop saying that.
No, you're trained, man. We are.
Oh, I'm brainwashed. It sucks.
We call that condition.
Our people in the our representatives. There we go. Man, that's a hard word to replace with representative.
Reps.
Why are they not working on that? Why are they not trying to figure that out instead of, you know, this other crap, like here in Akron, for example. Akron's one of the biggest cities that have been hit with all these deaths. Yeah. But yet they're more worried about the homeless people and where the fuck they're staying, excuse my language, because even people that are owning property and saying, yes, you can put your tents on my property, and they're still saying, no, that's a violation of whatever code they have to be out by, saying, even though the homeowner's like, yes, you can stay here. Or the property.
You want to know why?
Oh, God.
Think about get your tinfoil hat. Think about the underlying aspect of everything you just said. What does the abortion do? It kills them before they're born.
No.
What does the fentanyl do? Wait. Think about it.
Deeper.
Abortion. Well, the heartbeat bill, I'll agree with you. The heartbeat bill is kind of the opposite side of that coin. But the discussion and the debate and the arguments and all of that is creating diversity.
Now you're getting closer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, the reason they don't give a shit about the fentanyl is because it's killing population. The reason they don't give a shit about the the homeless, good portion being veterans, is because it gets rid of the problem. That's one of those things where it has sorted itself out. Look at California. You've got people shooting up in public transportation areas, like in the hallway,
the subway tunnel,
shooting up.
Right.
On record, they don't care. It will sort itself out, quote unquote. The whole point and what is going on right now is it is taking the population and splitting it into multi-facets 2 years before an election. While the Democrats are screaming and running all over the place, campaigning the hell out of themselves for the 2020 election. On this topic.
Why are they, I think you're starting to get there, keeping us divided. The more we're divided, the less likely we are to, as long as we're divided, we will keep looking at them as leaders.
Yep.
Because we need to be led.
Sorry.
We're so divided, we need to be led. No, they should represent us and what we want. And a majority, I'm telling you, there's Democrats, not leftists. There are Democrats who believe in the Constitution, who are gun owners, who, don't think that the Second Amendment should be abolished because they know then their First Amendments will be abolished. We are so much closer. If you get into a group of people, not leftists, not far right, but just majority of us that are in the middle, we are not that far away from each other. But every time we start to get together, they divide us. It's just another issue. They pass another bill. They try and take our guns. They're trying to do things on the border. They're trying to let people through the border. Anything and everything to divide us and keep us distracted from what they're really doing. It's the plan. It's been the plan for years. And tinfoil or not, look around you. It's happening.
Tinfoil. Oh boy.
Well, I'm going to say this. We got 5 minutes left, Jeremy.
Wow. No, we don't have 5 minutes left because speaking of distractions, there's a big one tonight, and a lot of people are going to start jumping off here. And we all know what it is. I won't even say it because.
Well, what I was going to say is let's the three of us shut the hell up. Let's point out the phone number at the bottom of the screen.
You ain't got
any
time.
of our viewers on either Facebook or YouTube.
Ain't nobody called, man. That number's been on both of there for a long time.
Right.
I understand.
I gave them chances.
They had their chance.
Pick up the phone. Call us.
Not just ladies. Opinion. Any of you guys want to call in and say anything at this point.
I've seen guys. I've seen girls. I've seen both.
I think this is probably.
I've seen all the genders.
This is both of them. I've seen both of them.
Oh boy.
I've seen both.
Next week's topic.
Say something.
But no, I think honestly, I really think this is probably a good enough topic that we should invite everybody back next week. I really think we should probably keep it going next week.
Well, and we will. I think what I will do is I will make sure I'll try to get the phone thing set up to where because I was just going to sit here and use my cell phone so that you could hear them, and they probably wouldn't be able to hear you guys, but at least then that way they can ask a question or make a statement, and or both, and then sit back.
We're still on. Make that phone call. Don't be scared.
Phone hasn't rang. I'm surprised. I mean, we've almost hit 20 here at one point, and but I mean.
I don't think. I think it's something that has to be discussed. I don't think there. I don't think there.
Oh.
I don't think there is a clear cut in this issue.
Hang on a second here.
Uh-oh. You got one?
I got a call coming in here. Let's see who this is. Hold on.
I'm gonna put caller.
Oh, Mr. Dieter. Hello, Mr. Dieter. You're on speakerphone and you're on. We'll do it live.
Well, hello, Heartland Defenders. How is everyone this evening?
Good. How you doing, Jeremy?
We're doing pretty good. They can hear you, but I don't think you can hear them right now due to our phone setup, but that's going to be fixed here soon.
All right, I'll act like it's just a conversation between you and me then.
All right, go ahead.
Hey, no, listen, I appreciate you guys. I love the fact that you're getting out here and having these conversations, giving people the truth. You guys are appreciated more than you know. You're willing to say what a lot of other people will not say. And you're absolutely loved for it, man. I just really appreciate you guys, and I appreciate the fact that you get up here and you tell the truth.
Well, I appreciate the kind
words. Very much. Appreciate it.
And the other Mike has said thank you as well. Appreciate the words.
I'm nodding.
And Jacob's nodding.
Can't hear me. What do you want me to do?
Correct. No, I mean, and that's why we decided to do come on here. No matter how many people are watching, we're coming on here. You watch it later, you watch it now. That's what we're here. I mean, I am definitely not one to try to say anything but the truth. So
we try.
So that's what we try.
I think, you guys keep cracking at it, and you're going to continue to break some of the harsh exteriors out there that people have, and they're going to be more receptive to you. I know I shared you on my page, and I think some other people might be sharing you out as well. Is it okay if I steal a little bit of your time to just make a quick announcement? Would that be all right?
You guys good with that? Yeah, go ahead.
Excellent, gentlemen. I do appreciate you, man. I won't take a whole lot of time up. So I've been talking to some folks all around the nation, and it looks like what we're going to do is we have tried other methods, and what we're going to do is we have a letter that will be typed up tomorrow night. And what that's going to do is give Washington, D.C. an amount of time to be able to restore the nation to constitutionality and sanity. If they do not do that, the American people are going to be declaring their independence from Washington, D.C. and all criminal governance. So I just wanted to put that bug in everybody's ear and let them know that digital flyer and paper will be coming to them probably very soon, and everyone is free to share it out to the news stations and everybody else and let them know how the nation is changing. And I appreciate you guys letting me put that out there.
Nice. We'll look forward to seeing that.
Thanks for coming on, Jeremy.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, man.
Yep.
You have a good one.
Man, I'll send it to you guys as soon as I get it.
All right.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Sweet. Have a good one.
All right. Thank you guys, man. I appreciate your work.
We appreciate you too and what you do, man. Later.
All right.
Bye.
All right.
Nice.
Yeah, you better call the ball, Jeremy, because we're already starting to lose people.
Yep, right. Well,
I don't
so
know, man, we've lost one.
Well,
I'm pretty sure he was just on the phone.
No, he might have been.
No, Heather pieced out us too.
Oh yeah, she already told me, man. When it comes on, I'm out, and I know there's a few other in here that's going to be out too. So no, I mean definitely, and I'll take this moment as anybody on here that's not already in a group. Definitely look at groups in the area. We're definitely not one of your. We're not a militia. We do not go that route as in being that militant style group. We're more of a preparedness, teaching people what is it? Constitutional preparedness group. I keep forgetting those words. It's been a long day. I've been in the sun too long. But if you guys are looking for a group or you want people that we're doing camping trips. We have one coming up this summer. Is the summer one going to be open to everybody?
I'm thinking about it. Yeah, I think this one might be the one that would probably work. I'm going to talk to the rest of leadership and see what everybody thinks about it.
Right.
We'll go from there.
Okay, but yeah. So until then, we definitely do a lot of getting together. I know I was in a thing today where we got together and we're learning about tying knots. For people that don't know your knots because you didn't go to Boy Scouts, and I know Girl Scouts didn't teach knots, and I know that's a whole nother show topic.
A whole nother show.
So. But we appreciate you guys definitely for watching. HeartlandDefenders.com, Heartland Defenders on Facebook and YouTube. And if you have any questions or anything about us or anything we want to talk about, if you want to suggest something to talk about, send us an email, send us a message on any of the Heartland pages.
And there is one event they can come to and see us. It's open to everybody.
Wait, which one?
In September.
Oh, yes. Ooh, wow, I almost forgot about that one. A show without mentioning that one. So, motherofallrallies.com. Come see us at more. We'll be there. We'll be. We'll probably have a tent. Yeah, we will have a tent.
Or just come to the after party. That'd probably be good too.
You mean the before and after party and during party and okay. It's a great event. So check out motherofallrallies.com. Donate there if you can. He just takes the money up to the point that it pays for the event. He does not take a dime more other than paying for the event and the fees for getting the donations. But anyways, thank you guys, both of you again, for your time tonight. Thanks everybody for watching, definitely. And we will see you next Sunday. Until then, have a good one.